Hi, everybody. Heidi ho, gamers. It's RPG Grandma. We're finishing the chapter on drugs and potions today. That's the goal. That's the goal. We're getting there. We're getting there. We are getting there, peoples. Look at that. Soon, before we know it, we'll be at the rings of power and other rings and stuff like that. All right. We have to go through furnishings first. Drugs and Potions. Attribute Potions by Dana. Dana came up with some cool stuff. Every inordinate cup is unblessed, and the ingredient is a devil. Shakespeare, Othello. Yeah, hit your Shakespeare, people. In the evaluation of drugs and potions, we strongly suggest that a mage or alchemist be consulted to determine the exact age of the preparation and therefore its exact effect. Yeah. Years ago, it dawned on me I shouldn't be telling the players, you found a potion of healing. How would they know? You found a scroll written in a language you don't read, and it does something like magic missile, right? You found a sword and it's +1. How would you know? Like, think about it. You found a ring and it's a ring of invisibility. How would you know? You have to do something to find out. Something to think about, folks. Is it a potion or is it poison? Is it going to work wonky on you? Is spell scrolls, like I said, in a previous episode that I did on what was it? Yeah, it was basically like you're pulling this stuff out of dank dungeons and people's books out of these places and scrolls. They're pristine. No, that stuff's got to go back. It's got to go to other people so they can try to figure out what it is. Try to recover information from it. Try to help you. And you might not even get to keep it because that was the whole goal of the expedition. There's a grimoire in there. And you've been hired to retrieve it. Basically fantasy world archaeology and artifact repair. That would be a thing. Okay? So, yeah. The exact effect. Is it going to work the way it's supposed to? The following potions were originally compounded to temporarily raise various attributes, i.e. strength, intelligence, wisdom, constitution, dexterity, and charisma. If you play Ardoon, there'll be more. Okay. All have a wine base with various active ingredients. Oh, I like that. For those of you who don't know, if you read something like Conan, the Conan stories, the original ones, the only thing that ever seems to heal anybody is wine. That is the potion of healing. Okay, this is spirits. So, just saying. I kind of made a mental note that all wine gives you plus. All wine. You drink a little wine, you get 1 hit point back for fantasy games because of that. Just because. Why not? Okay. If the containers are properly sealed magically, the potion has a shelf life approximately 50 years. That's pretty generous. As originally compounded, they are referred to as type 1 regular potions. This is, so you take it to the alchemist. He's looking it over, looking for the day it was sealed on the container. You have a type 1 potion. Players be like, what's that? Get fun with this, seriously. If the container remains properly sealed for 50 years, the potion will increase in efficiency and become a type 2. Improved potion. Ooh, it gets better. That's cool. However, this form has a relatively brief shelf life, approximately 5 years. You got to track stuff or just make some decisions. The third transformation results in a type 3. Poison potion, which lasts for about 45 years. After this, normally the potion becomes flat, tasteless, and no effect. But in some circumstances, a fourth transformation occurs. In tests of samples known to have passed a century mark since their original compounding, 90% of the samples were of no effect. The remaining 10% had undergone a transformation to become type 4 potions. Of these type 4 potions, 99% caused the unwary imbiter to die instantly, instantaneous death, and his body crumbling to dust, which can neither be healed nor resurrected. Oh my, that's harsh. The other 1% of these type 4s, i.e. 0.1% of the total, have become type 5s, which permanently raise the imbiter's relevant attribute to the racial maximum. There is no way to distinguish type 5 from type 4 except by taking them. Since the type 4 potions can be tested only by actual ingestion, investigation has been hampered as much by a lack of volunteers as by the time lapse required between preparation and testing. If other considerations do not apply, roll percentage dice to determine the age of a given potion. Okay, I have so many evil thoughts from this. This brilliant, terrible thing to do to potions in the dungeon. I know right now there's a bunch of people. If anybody who watches this, it'll break down into two groups. That's horrible. I'm not doing that to my players. Or mwah. I'm kind of tending towards the mwah side. Only because I've had questions about this for a while. Why don't potions go bad? How can they possibly be good down there for thousands of years? Things like that. I mean, I think about this stuff. I do. But, there's a reason why there might be good potions down in a dungeon. Besides players getting killed down there, their player characters actually getting killed down there and having their stuff left there. At least one of my early modules, like the first one ever put out, has got a wizard on one of the levels. He's got a whole wizard shop going. And this was done for old D&D. So pre 1E, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's pre 1E. Pre basic. And he's that whole dungeon is crazy. There's like a chef guy down in there. There's a garden. There's all kinds of stuff. I seriously believe the party was meant to go in and not come out until the mission was achieved. Many layers in. So very different style of play than what you typically see written about old school gaming. There's no other way. If they come and they go and they come and go, the mission will never be achieved. And they're likely to get rid of things that they're going to need later in other layers of the dungeon. I read through it very carefully. I said, "Ooh, okay, why? Oh, they're going to need that on layer, level 3 or something." So if they leave level 1, there's going to be a problem. So, yeah, not everything is as the internet says it was. I'm just putting it out there. But this is brilliant. I mean, This is what I meant by, years ago, I started questioning stuff, and then I just stopped doing certain things. It's like, well, is the sword magical? Do you have detect magic? No, I'm a fighter. Well, is it just a rusty sword? you know, you know, And now I don't even do that. Now I'm like, your voice echoes through the dungeon while you wonder this to yourself. Hint. That's not how you deal with the situation. Go forth. You get back to town. Take it to a magician. Maybe they can figure it out. Take it to a cleric. Take it to an alchemist. Or you can taste test stuff. Or you can try to make it work. All in your lonesome and find out if the ring is cursed or the ring is blessed or the ring does nothing or the ring turns you invisible, right? Or opens doors magically or something, right? This one, I could totally see somebody having a lab and having poor victims have to taste test the potions that are being brought out of dungeons, and they're trying to analyze what they were made out of and what they could be. Oh yeah, I could see all kinds of mad scientist stuff you could drop right in your fantasy game. Yeah, it would be like horrific, but I never said the fantasy world was nice and fluffy. I don't know where My Little Pony version of it came from, but it was never that when I was playing as a kid. It's always bad things could happen, but I don't know. Okay, so what are we looking at? Our percentage dice rolls. Well, 0, 1 to 50% is type 1. That makes sense. You want that to be. Then 51 to 55% are type 2. 55 to 99% are type 3. 0%. So that's when it lands on the 100. Type 4, which is also and if you get the 0% twice, it's type 5. So it sounds like when you roll type 4, you then roll again, and if it comes up 100 again, then it's going to be a type 5. Okay? Type 1, that wholesales for 200, retails for 400. Each potion increases one attribute 1d6 points. The effect lasts 4 plus 1d6 turns unless otherwise stated. There are 1d3 doses per bottle, but if another dose is taken before the first dose has worn off, there is a 10% chance per extra dose of an overdose, see type 3 poison. No matter how many doses are taken, the attribute will not be raised above the ratio maximum. Type 2. The effects are the same as type 1 above, except that the duration is permanent. The whole bottle full must be consumed before there is any effect. Acts as one dose. The use of this potion renders the user permanently immune to both the regular and approved potions of this type, but confirms no immunity to type 3 poison or to type 4s or type 5s, and they have the pricing the same. So wholesales 200, retails 400. Type 3, wholesales 200, resales 400. The initial effects of type 3 poison are the same as type 1 regular. When the initial effects have dissipated, the poison effects begin. Details are covered under the individual headings for the type of potion. Neutralize poison and cure poison will halt the loss of characteristic points at the time when the spell is cast, but they will not restore lost potions. A slow poison will slow the rate of loss, but will not alter the end result. A save versus poison may be allowed, Dungeon Master's option. If successful, the loss will be reduced to 1/2 damage permanent. Type 4 and 5 Dungeon says Dungeon Master's option for pricing. No market prices are established due to the extremely hazardous method required to distinguish these types. And we got a quote up here. Well, you can, of course, but Rakundra doesn't take well to abuse of her berries. I knew a paladin who used a helmet full of a week polishing all his armor and weapons to rid them of weight encumbrance. Yes, he's the one who tried to pick the king's pocket while he was being knighted. Worst case of light-fingeredness I've ever heard of. Twyla von Lipimonova. Oh, remember those berries we talked about? Oh, on the previous page? Somebody came up with a creative use. I guess I got a little correction from the GM, it sounds like. Note of intelligent potions. Appears a clear green fluid with faint apple taste and odor. Increases due to this potion will allow new spells to be learned and retained for the duration of the effects. For each point of increase, one first level spell may be learned, or for every 2 points, one second level spell, or for every 3 points, one third level spell, etc. Overdose may, at Dungeon Master's option, act as a type 3 poison, cause 1d10 points of damage from brain fever, or cause insanity. See Insanity Tables, Handbook of Traps and Tricks from Dragon Tree. Insanity Tables. Note on Wisdom potions. Appears a thick, almost fluid fog. No odor or taste. Beneficial effects. Duration is 1d4 days. This will temporarily increase magic resistance to certain spells, i.e. illusions, etc., and allow clerics to learn additional spells and retain them while effects last. See Type 1 Intelligent potion above. Poison effects. If the victim's wisdom reaches 0, he will die. Raise Dead and similar spells will revive him, but he will die again immediately unless at least 1 point of wisdom can be restored by a wish type 1 potion, etc. Note on strength potions. Appears red fluid with amber highlights. No odor or taste. Poison effect. The victim will lose 1 point of strength per turn for 1d6 turns. This loss is permanent. If the victim's strength reaches 0, he will die. Raise Dead and similar spells will work. However, the victim will simply die again unless some way is found to give him at least 1 point of strength. Note on Constitution potions. Appears a clear gold fluid with a sour mint taste, faint odor. Beneficial effects. Effects of this potion continue even if the imbuer has died. He thus gains an improved resurrection and survival effect. Poison effects. If the victim's constitution reaches 0, he will die. If resurrected, he cannot possibly make his system shock survival rolls unless at least 1 point of constitution is somehow restored. Note on dexterity potions. Appears a murky red liquid with a pungent odor and the taste of peppers. Poison effect. Victim reaching 0 dexterity presents a special hazard to himself and those around him. Think about it. Note on charisma potions. Appears a murky orange fluid, lemon flavor, and odor. Beneficial effects. Effects last 1d4 days, during which all reaction adjustments are altered and increased number of hirelings and henchmen are permitted. Poison effects. If the victim's charisma is reduced to 0 or less, any and all living creatures with an animal intelligence or greater will attack and attempt to kill him as long as this condition lasts. Please note, disguises will not work. Okay, all types of attribute potions have saving throw adjustment 0. Addiction factor 0. Flashback factor 0. Dangerous mixture 0. Non-addictive and overdose 0%. So, next episode of Reading with Grandma from the Books of Artifacts. We will move on to furnishings. I do know that somebody was using them because I got letters. Let's see, written here. I didn't do that. Somebody else did. Somebody else wrote the book. I'm writing a book. I'll take credit for it. But no, I didn't do that. They did like the furnishing section, though. It's got all kinds of little... So, we're getting there. We are getting there. Yes, they have archaeology. Dragon Tree has an archaeology class that they published, which you could use in advanced D&D or Arden. Food for thought. Especially when you're playing class-based systems. Or any fantasy setting, if it's skill-based. I mean, what do your players actually do to make most of their money? Are they mercenaries most of the time? Are they basically tomb robbers most of the time? AKA what archaeologists started out as, and then got better. But are they like educated tomb raiders? In other words, they're going down for specific reasons to get specific things, to bring them back, to be restored. You know, they're doing research. That would put them more in the archaeology end, right? There's an archaeologist right here right now. I am not a tomb raider. Don't you know? I know all the science involved now. But in the early days, come on. Those really wild early days, the archaeology was not there as much as, look, I got a cool thing. Let's put it in a museum.
Julio Aquila.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Anyway, so I got to go. Like, subscribe, comment. Talk to you later. Bye.